Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now, and today, let's go ahead and break down the latest Eagles news and rumors as we always do. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on seemingly every single day with the Eagles, and of course, I'll break it all down for you. Let's go ahead and start with the no fans in the stands story that you've probably been following this week. If you are an Eagles fan and you have Twitter, you have probably seen one side of the story and the other side of the story, and I, as always, will break down exactly what it means. So, first off, there was a little bit of controversy in terms of a reported memo from the city of Philadelphia saying that there would be no fans allowed inside Lincoln Financial Field for the entire season in Philadelphia. Let me say that again. Earlier this week, there was a memo reportedly saying zero fans, like no fans whatsoever in Lincoln Financial Field for any Eagles game this year, which caused a lot of, I wouldn't say panic, but I mean, it upset a lot of Eagle fans naturally, as a lot of people want to have at least limited capacity for NFL games and especially Eagle games. However, this turned out to not be true, as the city of Philadelphia might actually allow some fans. They're calling it a fluid situation, as the mayor's office has finally given an update. My guess, before I read you the update, is that there will be fans at every single NFL game this year, just at a limited capacity, because you can technically socially distance enough people to where you could be safe and just fine. Let's go ahead and break down exactly what the Philadelphia's mayor's office actually put out. It's a very long quote overall, but I wanted to go ahead and just break down at least the beginning part of this. Specifically, with regards to the 2020 NFL season, the Eagles and the city of Philadelphia remain in close communication. Both entities are committed to the health and safety of the players, employees, fans, and the community. The city and the Eagles have been working together during this time, will continue to do so. The Eagles have been planning for a variety of scenarios in accordance with league protocols, as well as local and state guidelines. And later it goes on, you'll see it says right now no more than 50 people in outdoor events. They do apply to Lincoln Financial Field, but this is not exactly going to possibly be there during the Eagles season. They can do a special allowance for Eagle games and vice versa. So the basic point is it's up in the air. Nobody knows anything, as of course everyone realizes right now during the current pandemic. But my best guess is that they will allow a limited number of fans in Lincoln Financial Field, at least for the start of the season, depending on where the NFL and the pandemic and everyone is at leading up to the start, which is September 13th. Now, the upcoming big dates here are obviously training camp on July 28th, so a couple of weeks away from the Eagles being at the NovaCare complex practicing there. August 20th now is the first preseason game against the Miami Dolphins, and then September 13th is your week 1 regular season game against the Washington yet to be named, right? So the thing about this whole thing, I think that we can take a little bit of glass half full sort of attitude with is last night, Bristol Motor Speedway, NASCAR had their all-star race, and they had a limited amount of fans in the stands. They had like 15,000 fans. They spaced them all out. They encouraged them to wear masks, but didn't mandate it, and everything seems to be fine. This is probably what the NFL is going to be, because the NFL players themselves do not need to fear the fans infecting them because they're so far away in the stands anyway. It's more just fan-on-fan contact. So if they limited the amount of people, if they make them wear masks at least entering, do a temperature check, as most people are doing when they go into their office, I think they will be good to go and okay overall. But, again, fluid situation. We'll monitor that here as we always do on Philadelphia Eagles Now. But don't believe the headlines saying no fans are allowed. It's fluid. They're going to figure it out as we get closer to the NFL season. Okay, my bosses don't think that this video is going to be able to get 500 likes. They said, Thomas, there's no way you have that many fans who are ready for the football season like you are, so go ahead and ask, but you're not going to get it. So I'm going to ask you guys right now, like this video if you're ready for some Eagles football. I mean, football's going to happen, in my opinion. It's going to happen for sure, so thumbs up for that. But if you love the Eagles, you're ready for some Eagles football, give this video a thumbs up. I got to see 500 likes on this video. Come on, guys, just right down below. Click it, and then we'll continue to move on. Okay, moving on. More Jason Peters news, as it is officially official, as we, of course, had talked about it, reported it here, saying he's most likely going to play right guard. It's official. Jason Peters did sign to be the right guard, the starting right guard for the Philadelphia Eagles. He signed that one-year deal, and it's no longer, well, will he play right guard? He could play right guard. Can he switch over? It is, Jason Peters has said he's going to play right guard, and the Eagles have said he is going to play right guard, and it seems like Peters is very, very excited to be at the right guard spot for a variety of reasons. Now, before I show you what Brian Baldinger, of course, the former Eagle, the Eagle fan, and the NFL Network guy, I think if anyone can turn from left tackle to right guard, it's Jason Peters. I mean, the guy's been in the National Football League for so long. He understands every single position on the offensive line, as you have to, even if you only play one position. I think if anyone can do it, he can. But here's what Brian Baldinger said about Jason Peters. This is fascinating stuff. Quote, JP has been Lane Johnson's idol and mentor. I know he's excited about playing with him. Knowing the shape Lane is in right now, it has a chance to be a really, really good right side, and Johnson really wants to do this. He's fully on board with this. So, of course, the right guard and the right tackle, much like the left guard and the left tackle, work as a singular unit, right? Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson have a special bond because they play alongside each other. It's going to be the same thing whenever Jason Peters gets in there on the right guard spot, and a big deal in terms of being successful is having both guys on the same page, and it looks like Lane Johnson is fully on board with this. Baldy went on to say, quote, "He's played on the right side in unbalanced lines and gotten into a right-handed stance. It's been will be a little bit of an adjustment, but he's played in two-point stances most of his career. When you're in shotgun now, you're primarily in the two-point stance. It's not as big of a deal in today's game as it once was." And the Eagles, of course, run the majority of their plays out of shotgun. They do a lot of zone read out of shotgun, so the idea that Peters switching from left side to right side is going to be a big change does not seem to be the case with Brian Baldinger. And Baldy knows his stuff. I met Brian Baldinger 3 times during my sports journalism career. I met him here in Atlanta at an event I was covering for different people earlier. Great guy, but he fully is on board with this stuff, and he even raved about Jason Peters back then when I was talking to him about the Eagles overall. So I trust not only Baldy on this, but I trust what Lane Johnson and Jason Peters are thinking about in terms of this position. There'll be a lot of trolls down below who are saying, you can't go from left tackle to right guard. Again, it's not as hard as you think. I think that they're going to be okay, and he's not going to be as good as Brandon Brooks, but I think he's going to do a lot better than a lot of people are expecting. The Eagles would not have signed him if they didn't think he could come in and provide an instant impact on potentially this one-year deal, and of course they did, and that is where we are at right now. I'll ask you guys this. Will Peters work at right guard? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Also, brand new sale item right now, which is really cool, and I encourage you guys to jump on this. Eagles phone cases are all 20% off. Chatsports.com/EaglesCare is the place to get that. Link is down below in the description box. They have iPhone cases, excuse me, from iPhone 7 all the way to the current generation, the iPhone 11. They have Samsung Galaxy and Galaxy Slim cases overall. They got a bunch of great logos and colors and designs. The football with the pigskin, the midnight green with the stripe, which is my personal favorite overall. And then, of course, the clear one with the Eagles logo and the Eagles in the background as well. All of them are 20% off. The majority of them are going to fit your phone if you have an iPhone, so don't worry about that. Pick them up down below, 20% off. Chatsports.com/EaglesCare is the place to go ahead and pick that up. Okay. Final bit of news here. This is not Eagles news, but it does affect the Eagles in a great way. The Dallas Cowboys officially were unable to sign Dak Prescott to a long-term deal yesterday as the official deadline for a long-term deal came and went, meaning Dak will go ahead and play on a 1-year franchise tag. And this is, in my opinion, very good news for Philadelphia for a multitude of reasons. The big one is that Dallas could be looking for a new quarterback as early as 2022. They completely botched this deal, and I'll explain a little bit more on this in just 1 second. Before we do that, though, if you guys hate the Dallas Cowboys, subscribe to Philadelphia Eagles now, because we hate the Cowboys here, and we're always talking about the Eagles, who, of course, hate the Cowboys. So subscribe, right subscribe button down below, right below that like button in the video comment box section right below my video, right now. Okay, so Bleeding Green Nation had a great article on this, a great piece on this as to why the no deal for Dak is good news for Philadelphia. They said, quote, "The theory here is that the Cowboys have been reluctant to pay Prescott because they truly know he's a quarterback you win with and not one you win because of." Of course, we totally know and agree with that. And they know they have to pay him like that later. The problem with doing just that, though, is that committing so much money to Prescott limits the talent they can surround him with, and Prescott needs to be supported by an environment in which he can thrive as opposed to being a guy to evaluate a lesser supporting cast. Here's the deal. And here's why a lot of people are fully on board with Dak not signing, why it's good for Philadelphia. 2 reasons. 1, it will create a big quarterback controversy as early as 2022, because then they will either have to give him a ton of money to keep him or let him go and start over by drafting a quarterback. Look what the Redskins had to do, obviously, with Kirk Cousins. They paid him twice a ton of money, and then eventually could not hang on to him, let him go because they didn't want to pay him a lot of money, and they've started from scratch with Dwayne Haskins, which, as we know, with a rookie quarterback, takes time to figure things out. On the flip side, if they do re-sign him, they will eventually have to give him $35, $40 million a year. It's going to be a lot compared to, of course, the Patrick Mahomes contract, which means, of course, they'll have a mediocre to average quarterback who has only ever won 1 playoff game barely in his career in his 4 seasons. And at that point, you're still paying him a lot of money, meaning all your other stars, like a future CeeDee Lamb, might not be able to afford him. He could become a free agent. The best news out of all of this is that Philadelphia already has the Carson Wentz deal done. They don't have to worry about Carson Wentz, and they're getting him at a decent price. $32 million a year is fantastic for a Wentz deal. and it's like the 5th or 6th best in the National Football League in terms of highest paid quarterbacks. But when you just saw Patrick Mahomes get $45 million a year, Wentz at $32 million a year is an absolute steal. The Dak versus Wentz debate, you can look at the statistics and say, oh, Dak's better here, and Dak's better there, and oh, Dak's done this and done that, and Wentz has been injured, and Dak hasn't. Which is whack. Which would you actually want? The Dak versus Wentz comes down to this. Stats, wins, losses, all that BS, ignore it. Comes down to this. Fourth quarter, you're trying to win a football game. Who would you rather have at quarterback? And 99% of people in the National Football League would say Carson Wentz. It's not even close. It's good they didn't get a Dak deal done. It creates more drama in Big D, and that is always good for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, all the time we have for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Wanted to get you guys the latest news and rumors. Obviously, the no fans in the stands, it's too early, right? Sit tight, wait, let's see what happens. September is still a couple of months away. It's a fluid situation, so don't expect 0 fans just yet. The mayor will provide more info on that later. Jason Peters officially at right guard. Brian Baldinger says that it will work. I agree with him. Lane Johnson's excited about it. And Dak Prescott, fantastic news. No deal is done. Cowboy fans are mad. The Cowboys themselves are mad. Dak Prescott is mad. Drama in Dallas. What's new? That's all the Dallas Cowboys are good for is drama. They're going to be worse than the Eagles this year. Bank on that. All the time we have for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I am your fearless leader and host, Thomas Mott. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy the rest of your day.